Hello, meet my friend. He is happy to be here. Luard is probably one of the most popular units in the history of Vanguard. This is quite literally, I want to say, like the Blaster Blade of G in terms of popularity, or the Blaster Dark, I guess is more accurate. But Luard is, incredibly popular, and Luard came out in Zero a month ago here in the Japanese server, and it's coming out in English in like 2 weeks, so I thought no better time than to take a look at the build and take a look at how the deck looks in action. Now, of course, I wanted to get this video up much earlier, but we had 0 damage Luard running around, and that's not exactly a fun deck to watch or play, in my opinion, so it got nerfed, and now we're playing regular Luard again, and it's honestly not that bad. I did a tier list recently, you can go check it out if you want to, about where I placed the different decks. And 0 damage Luard is definitely, tier 0, but the more nerfed, I guess the current Luard, is not exactly like super tier 1, but it's still pretty strong and I think is worth talking about, and it still has a bunch of cool win cons, and it's a deck that, in my opinion, plays nothing but 9 crit. Like, I think 9 crit is the correct way for this deck, and because just you have so much draw power, and like, your win cons become even deadlier thanks to it. So without any further ado, let's take a look at Luard and how it's shaped up. Now, you can build this deck in a lot of different ways, especially the grade 2s in the starter. I've been changing this build a lot, and also the 9th kind of like grade 3 spot, you can also definitely adjust as you wish. And even the G zone is honestly very, very flexible. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do with it, so definitely just feel free to explore and like try out different things. So starting off, let's go over Luard himself. I think this is kind of like the bread and butter of the deck, so it's important to actually go over it. So Luard says Ritual 3. What the hell is Ritual? Ritual is, depending on the count of your grade 1s in drop zone, you get following abilities. So if an ability like Luard's is Ritual 3, that means if you have 3 or more grade 1s in the drop zone, that ability is active. So Luard's ability is Ritual 3, so if you have 3 or more grade 1s in the drop zone, at the beginning of your ride phase, you can choose 2 non-trigger cards from your drop zone and put them to the bottom of the deck, and then for that turn, the next time you would stride, you don't have to pay the cost. Now, there will be quite a few cards like this coming up in the future as well that have this kind of like alternative condition to striding, and Luard was basically the first one of them, and it's really good. It's a very, very good card because it recycles your key pieces, and it also allows you to stride without necessarily relying on stride fodders, and also keeping your hand, which again is the reason why we don't need to run draws in this deck. His other skill is also really good. When you stride over him, you can almost one and retire one of your rear guards, so important to keep rears on the board for this. And then you can choose 2 grade 1 or lower cards from your deck and call them. So converts a card into 2, which is very good because that fuels your other skills, and of course when you ride it gets plus 3k. Then our other very important card in this grade 3 slot is the Belial Owl. Belial Owl has a very important effect which says, first, rearguard circle. When this is retired by your Luard's ability cost, you draw 1. So if you play these crits down on the field and you retire them for, let's say, Luard's on-stride ability, you'll get to draw a card, so it immediately refunds itself. And then in the drop zone GB1, Ritual 3, at the end of the turn, if your Vanguard is a Luard, you can put this card back to the bottom of the deck. So if you have 4 of the crits in the drop zone, they all go back to the deck and you can reuse them and keep checking crits forever. This card is really, really good. And then we have like 1 spot left, and you can basically play like Claret or Blaster, Dark, Diablo. There's a bunch of different things you can play. I choose to play the one of Bad Barkar. Bad Barkar is just when called or when ridden, you call the top card of your deck. So the reason why is because I never really see myself going into things like Blaster, Dark, Diablo or the Claret, because I feel like it just kind of like goes against like, this engine that Luard provides of being able to recycle your stuff all the time, where instead this is like, if you have no cards in hand, so let's say you're put into a situation where you only have like 1 rear to call down to pay for cost, suddenly you have 2, which I think is very nice, and so it's a good one of, you can play virtually anything you want in that slot. The starter we play is Root. Root is unretirable by your opponent's card effect, and GB1, when this card is retired by your abilities cost, you can put it to the soul, and then for that turn, one of your units gets plus 5k. Main reason why we run is because it can't be retired by your opponent's abilities, which is pretty huge. Otherwise, I was running Creeping Dark Goat because of how important it is to ride Luard in this deck, but thanks to this guy, I have not been needing it as much, so I switched to the Root starter instead, which gives us Soul, which we can use for things like Swordbreaker, as well as giving us that extra little bit of power that we need sometimes to hit magic numbers. So Abyssal Owl is another type of owl in this deck. Luard loves owls. When you place this card from hand on rearguard circle, you can discard 1 and search your deck for a Luard. It's that easy. So just have a way to find Abyssal Owl, and then it'll find you the Luard, and then it has a rearguard circle effect, which is Ritual 3, and it's retired by your Luard abilities cost. You can countercharge 1. Simple, right? So you call it down to search and then you retire later to get a counter charge back. But this is a named once per turn, so you can only use this ability once per turn, and it's a limited once per turn, so it's very important. So it's a good card. It's a very important card too. Then we played 2 Stride Fodders / Claret Searchers, but of course we just played for the sake of the Stride Fodder. I didn't play these for the longest time. I honestly didn't feel the need for them, but it's good for that first grade 3 turn when you don't have enough grade 1s yet in the drop to use Luard's free Stride ability. And then for countercharging PGs, because you might be wondering, but Esras is so broken. Well, they nerfed Esras to the ground in this game, and she's not really worth using because she binds herself after you use her, so there's no recycling to be done. So yeah, the only way you get Esras out is by calling her out of deck, and it's not really worth it. Just use countercharging PGs. And then 3 Swordbreakers, because I always damage check one of them, and I always want to use 2, because when you, let's say, like, you stride over Luard, retire the starter, call 2 Swordbreakers, empty out your soul, you already have a ritual set up. So Swordbreaker is really important. You know, when placed from deck, soul boss 1, draw a card. Very important. Very, very good. Then for the grade 2s, best card is Morfessa. Morfessa is a must 4 of GB1 on rear, ritual 3 when attacks the Vanguard gets plus 5k. Doesn't really matter. The important skill is actually the third one, which says in the drop zone, this card gets grade -1. So you can call her down early and basically, like, you know, attack with her, and then when she gets retired, then puts to the drop, she counts as a grade 1. So that's very important for the ritual 3 on first stride or etc. So it's very good. It counts towards your ritual count, which is good. Her other skill is also quite nice, GB1 ritual 3. When her attack hits a Vanguard, you can count +1 to search deck for a grade 1 and call it. I was running the, like, the owl, not the owl, the eagle that gets plus 4k when you call it beforehand, because you could, like, hit with this and then call it, but it's kind of a clunky combo, so I wasn't really a big fan of it, so might change in the future, but for now it's fine. Second most important grade 3 is Leafall. Leafall is a once per turn GB1 rearguard circle, soul blast 1, and retire the rearguard that is in the same column as this unit, of yours of course, and draw 1. So this lets you further convert your soul into the drop for ritual costs, and also, like, clear off your sword breakers and whatnot to actually draw into better cards. And on top of that, he has plus 2k when he attacks the Vanguard on Ritual 3, so 11k attacker doesn't even need a booster, which is pretty good. And then, also a very important card is the old Nemain. Nemain says on place rearguard circle, count +1, discard 1 and draw 2. This can help on turn 2 to set up your drop zone for turn 3 to stride for free, which is very cool. And then finally, run 2 copies of the Adolf. I know the name is not very fun to say, but he is important. His skill is rearguard circle GB1. When his attack hits a Vanguard, countercharge 2. This can let you be extra greedy with your plays, especially in the early game, and then you just get everything back and you can use your stride skills and stuff like that. So you could even make space for a third by cutting a Leafall, I think, but 2 is okay. You hit it when you need to, and it doesn't do anything in the late game, so it's not exactly a great card in the late game. So that's it for the main deck. Of course, heal guards are heal guards. And then we have the G-Zone. So our first stride is always going to be the Aura Dragon. So on attack Vanguard, count +1, G Persona Blast, retire 2 of your rears, to reveal top 2 cards of your deck, and then add them to your hand. And for every good one lower revealed, you get plus 5k on this guy. So just a bit of power, and of course, potentially winning the game because of your 9 crit. Then we play a Doomed pair, which of course flips your last Claret Sword. So this does the same thing, but it retires 3 in the main phase and reveals top 2, and then adds them to the hand. And if you have 1 or more Orgasm Dragon face up in the G-Zone, you choose an opponent's rear guard for each of the grade 1s revealed, and then you retire it. And then if you have 3 or more Orgazers face up in the G-Zone, he gets a crit. So just there to kind of, like, you know, once you've thinned the deck super hard and, like, keep returning grade 1s the deck with Luard's ability, you get to just snipe the front row and win off of 3 attacks to the Vanguard. Our alternative first stride if our board gets cleared is the Drag Driver Luard. This guy isn't really necessary at 3, you can just play 2 honestly. He says Ritual 3 when placed, so not on GB2 or anything. You flip a G unit face up, and then you search your deck for grade 1s equal to the amount of face up Drag Driver Luards in your G-Zone and call them. And then for every grade 1 in your drop zone for that turn, those units get +2, 1k, not +2k, +1k. So it's just a card that lets you stride into it, you call a grade 1 out, and then you use Luard's on-stride ability to retire that card to call 2 more out. So it's like an emergency kind of like setup, I guess, if you don't have like any way to just fill up the board. And then his GB3 is pretty nice when you don't have anything else to do. Once per turn, you can you can choose 2 cards from your drop zone that are not triggers and put them to the bottom of the deck, and then retire one of your ritual ability rear guards for him to gain a crit. This is just a way to, like, you know, if your opponent just got like 2 resist front rows or something and you have no way to clear past that and you don't want to gamble on just like crits, you can go into this and just try to get a PG out, right? So we run 3 copies because you can like first stride this and then you can go into him on the stride after that and just like flip anything and call 2 cards. So it's also pretty good for the GB3. Then we play 1 Ogma. Ogma is a very good card, but this was much better in the 0 damage build than it is in the normal build in my opinion. He says Ritual 5, so 5 grade 1's needed, so it takes a bit to set up here. Once per turn, cost 1 and flip anything that G's on face up, and then you retire any number of your grade 1 rear guards, and for each one you retired, you randomly retire one of your opponent's rear guards. And then if more than 3 cards were retired from both sides of the field, you draw 1, and if more than 5 cards were retired from both sides of the field, you draw another one. And then at the start of your opponent's next turn, let's say for every rear guard you retired more than your opponent discards that many cards. So let's say you retire 5 grade 1s and your opponent retires 2 of their rear guards, then at the start of their next turn they will retire 3, or they will discard 3 cards from hand. So this was a very important card for 0 damage Luard in like getting the hand out basically on the opponent's side, but in this build, you don't really rely on this card as much, and instead you rely on better win cons, in my opinion, such as Phantom Blaster Diablo. Phantom Blaster Diablo lets you, on GB2, once per turn, cast 1 G Persona Blast to get 10k and a crit, and then when attacks the Vanguard, retire 3 of your rears and have a glory effect. So your opponent has to, you know, or well, not just a glory effect. First, your opponent, if they have 1 or less rear guards, then you get a glory effect, but if they have 2 or more rear guards, you can retire 2 of their rear guards. So you mostly go for the glory effect, of course, that's the whole point. And then if that's not good enough, you go for Spectral Blaster Diablo, which is a card that says, once per turn, flip up a G unit, and then retire 1 of your rears to get the following ability for the turn, which is GB3 once per turn. At the end of the battle, attack the Vanguard, cost 2, retire 2 of your rear guards, stand this guy, draw 1, and then lose 2 drives, and if you have a face-up Spectral Blaster Diablo, gain a crit. That Diablo part of the ability is very important. And then, of course, the less part of the skill doesn't really matter because, well, we're not playing a Diablo deck here. And yeah, that was a long explanation, but that's the whole deck. I wanted to really explain every card in the deck because I think for a lot of people, they might be getting into 0 because of Luard, and I want this to be a good introduction into the archetype and into the deck. So with all that being said, let's get into a couple of games. Alright, our first opponent is going to be Kagero. Okay. I mean, this is a pretty common matchup in that sense, so not a big surprise. Going first, again, we are a stride-reliant deck, so of course we like to go second, but no worries. We have Luard, which is the most important card, and we have Morfessa in here as well. We have a PG, so overall pretty good hand. We might even be able to set up an early ritual because we're going first, but we'll see how that goes, of course. So we go first. Let's see what we draw into in terms of the grade 1s. More PG, so we're gonna have to ride the owl here and then call out the starter behind Vanguard. So that's good. We're gonna pass, and then next turn we can basically just kind of, you know, go into Morfessa, swing, see if we get any early game pieces. You do want to see in the main early, but like it's not worth mulliganing super hard over, and I think you still want to keep like PGs and stuff in hand and not toss them away. In worst case scenario, you can just discard the Bad Bar Car for stride as well, which is, you know, kind of what it's there to do as a grade 3 in the deck. We draw into Swordbreaker. I told you I always draw into these damn Swordbreakers. I wasn't kidding. Right into Morfessa. I'm sure this Morfessa is very nostalgic for a lot of people as well. It is, you know, I definitely feel that way. And the main goes at the bottom. Not good, not great, not great, not great at all, but it's fine. But yes, Luard is a pretty good card. Luard is also very good in V right now, here in Japan, after Clan Collection has released. But that being said, the motivation to play V is not super high because the meta doesn't really change too much. And instead I find myself picking up premium pieces and cool standard cards and stuff like that. So plus we have DBTO6 coming up in like 3 weeks, and the new starter decks, the new trial decks rather, for Overdress are coming out. Well, I guess Will Dress now are coming out this Friday, so gonna be very exciting. I'm honestly super pumped. I ordered a case. It's gonna be very hype, and this is also my last week of term, so I basically have a few assignments after this week, but all of my in-person classes and stuff are ending, and the summer break in Japan is really long. Well, at least from my, like, impression, it's pretty long. I'm basically off from, like, now, or, like, from next week, more or less. I'm off until end of September, like, September 20-something, like, pretty late. Also, look at this! You see this shit? I'm telling you. Anyway, let me be quiet. Very cool, very cool. But see what I mean? Look at these Swordbreakers, what are they doing in my hand? I need them in the deck. This is why I run 3, because you literally always draw into them. Like, I think the deck is just built to be drawn into them. and there's no other way about it. So we're gonna aggro a little bit with them, get a crit too. Finally, the crits are coming out. That's what I want to see. Let's get a second one. Damn it, not that good, huh? So, but this is good. If we can keep our opponent to 4 here, of course they check like a bajillion draws on the way, but if they don't heal and they stay on 4, we have a chance of winning on first ride with Aura guys, or at least pushing out some PGs that my opponent searched, of course. So yes, the summer break is long, which means I have a lot of time for content, a lot of stuff I want to do, and we're going on a trip to Osaka. Well, we're planning a trip to Osaka in early August after DBTO6 releases to do like a training camp trip for 4 card games, literally with my friends. But I mean, half training camp, I guess. We're gonna do tour stuff, of course, in the Kansai region, like go to Kyoto, go to Nara, go around Osaka and stuff, but also just like chill in the ryokan, you know, guys being dudes, and just playing card games and like, you know, having drinks and just chilling. Like, I proposed this idea to my friends. I was like, I think it'd be super, super fun. And then everyone was like, yeah, it would be fun. So, you know, it went from one of those like, you know when you're sitting at like a bar and you randomly bring up something like, yeah, we should all become astronauts one day. And then somebody goes like, yeah, we should, let's do it. And then it's like, oh, we're doing it? Okay. But yeah, this is one of those ideas that just kind of like popped up, and then everyone was like, yeah, we should do it. I was like, you know what, let's do it. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and like, we're going to a tournament literally the day after arriving, which is also cool. There's the Vanguard City Trial that's going on right now. There's a lot of like ads all over Tokyo trains and stuff. And also, with this holiday coming up, I want to take this time to do some IRL streams. So I have like a lot of data left over from last month on my phone, so I have still like 25 gigabytes or something. And like I have 20 gigs per month, and I like had left over like 10 from last month. So I'm only now almost done using them up. But yeah, it's been taking up some time. So I want to do some IRL streams, just do a bunch of cool stuff. You know, I have a cool 50k special planned on top of everything, so it's going to be a very fun time during the summer holiday. And also we have BRO coming up, which is very fun. So that's going to be the big remote tournament. Signups, I think, close tomorrow, like at the time of uploading this, like the 20th of July. So make sure you sign up, don't miss out, because it's a very important event and you won't be able to participate if you miss out. It's as simple as that. So you'll have to watch, which is also very fun. We'll be commentating. I'll be commentating too in the Asia, Oceania region, which is a new one for me. So that's going to be great. Anyway, enough talking. Let's go, Wargeyser. I'm on 5 damage on first stride. What is going on, man? Alright. Kazuma, show us a cool stride. Wargeyser. Woo! Alright, very nice. So, what does this card do? Oh, yes, let's draw into my third freaking... Man, why? I don't need all these sword breakers in my hand, dude. I really don't. Trust me, I don't. Trust me when I say this, I don't. I don't even have grade 2s. I don't even have grade 2s. Like, huh? Yeah, I guess I'll just call out interest. Like, yeah, I guess. What do you want me to do? Cry, laugh? Like, huh? Where are my grade 2s at? That's so weird. I haven't had one of these games in a long time, not gonna lie. Alright, we're gonna just bash. Check a bunch of crits here. It's that easy, you know. Gonna retire 2 here. Alright. I need to see some heals. I need to see some heals on this drive check, not off of the rescue check though. We get a crit to hand. It's not great, but it's fine. Alright. 1, 2 crit, let's go. That's more like it. Check another one. Ah, damn it. Alright, it's gonna go to 5. We can still kind of hold off some attacks, and I can even hold off a Nouvelle. The L Express will not get me this time, so I have a grade 3 in hand. Thank you, Orgeyser, for giving me one. Alright, and you can see the crit there going back to deck, very important. And you see this little hat? This little hat resembles Ritual. It also resembles Luard, but mostly Ritual. So yeah, I'm very excited. What are your summer plans? I hope you are gonna have a card game-filled summer, much like yours truly. See? I told you the L Express is always on the lookout. This crazy little thing. Okay, so L Express coming in, gonna do the thing, and then probably gonna use Blade Master to pop my owl. My poor, poor bird. Yep, look at him explode. Oh, fried chicken. Not like this. Not like this. Alright. What else you got? Please don't make big attacks. Small attacks, supreme. Swing rear first. Come on, come on, come on. Rear first, rear first, rear first, rear first, rear first. Rear first. Yes, good, 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 good. Okay, I survived then. In that case, I barely survive. Hooray for me. Hooray for me. I think we just go for... I want to say we just go for... freaking... Spectral? Next Stride? I feel like it's probably the best call. We're gonna Stride, we're gonna put back the Sword Breakers and use them to get cards into our hand, which is good. And then after that we'll draw into cards, I guess. Kinda want to put some PGs back though. PG and a Sword Breaker, and I think I just put 2 Sword Breakers back. At this point I just want to use them. So we'll do that, and then Stride for free. I think we go into this. Hi, I know my heart is not a Diablo, it's fine, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it, my friend, don't sweat it. Alright, Spec, very good. Draw into a card, grade 2, even better. Alright, let's retire the starter here. You've done your job of sticking around and not being retired, and call out 2 Swordbreakers. Waha! Very nice. That's all we wanted, all we needed here in our collective arms. Let's draw stuff first. This gets 2 grade 1s into a drop zone, which is nice. He draw into a crit, that's fine, our point's at 5, so acceptable. Alright, bunch of grade 2s are coming out. I wonder why. Definitely can't imagine why that's happening. I think here we just buff up the Vanguard. Actually, we should buff up one of the columns, because this will be actually hitting for like big numbers. We still have 1 soul left, so we can technically first use the Owl's effect here. Retire this with our Vanguard's ability. We also don't care about the crit here anymore from restanding, so we can technically flip something else face up. And that way we have a second Spectral Blaster use here for next turn in case we actually manage to heal out. I'll call down the countercharger here because this we didn't actually have that in hand, or we didn't like use the countercharger's effect earlier, essentially. So with that we'll be able to countercharge this turn as well. Aside from that, I guess we can call the Stride Fodder down. Just to have like a big back row to retire, that's all we were really looking for. So, with this, we're gonna swing. We're gonna swing with this, as for Heal Guard. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Alright, there it is. And then we're gonna swing boosted here, and then retire our triple back row. Oh, it's only double, isn't it? Alright, we got a crit. I could have played this a bit better. I could have swung Vanguard first. Could have swung Vanguard first, actually, and gotten another PG out earlier. But it's fine. We're going to attack and retire you and you. So definitely could have played a bit better, put the power on the rear here instead, and that would have asked for 2 PGs. We get a PG from that top deck though, which is very good. We're going to swing with 31 with a crit, get nothing, second PG in hand, no big surprise there. So with that, we pass the turn, and probably just get mauled to death. Because we can't find our heals. Are all my heals just out? No, we still have 2 in deck. We've had 2 in deck this whole time. Wild. Huh. No matter how much I thought, I was sure I would like draw into them eventually from like an effect or something, but doesn't seem to be the case. Alright, my opponent probably goes into Express again, because, you know, the chance of me having grade 3s again isn't that high, but no, they don't. Okay, they're gonna just blow up my front row, that's fine. And they're all gonna kill me with the crit, which will hurt. You know, granted. So let's see. They're gonna get triple counter charge on the sides. Of course, can use the Blade Master effect here as well to achieve Blaze condition and get the crit on that as well. There it comes. Yup. Alright, retire the other intercept. That's fine. So yes, unfortunately Shadows don't have resist yet. Unfortunately. Okay. My opponent's at 4 cards in deck, so they're in a little bit of a dangerous territory, I would say. Not tragic, but definitely not safe. Alright, here comes a bunch of countercharging. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Gonna probably swing Rearguard first to get the PG out of my hand. Here it comes. They might swing with Rearguard again on this battle too, which would be... Yeah, they will, okay. We're gonna have to see if we get a 6 damage heal here, which means we can't survive the Vanguard swings. It's actually safer. If they swung with the Vanguard and I got like double heal from the top, then I would have survived. But alas, we did not. I think their early rush there is probably what killed me the most. Like that hurt, not just early rush, but just like clearing out my board and just like pushing with good numbers. They were pushing from turn 1, or like turn 2, I guess, basically. So that honestly definitely put a wrench on our plans. So let's run it back and play another game. Alright, fight number 2 time. This is technically fight number 4, but my last opponent Damn it, I went second in the last two games I tried recording, but my opponent in the last game I think fell asleep because so it's 1:30 a.m. in Japan, so you know there's a reason why somebody would fall asleep. You know, it's not random, but you know, we were just getting through like turn 2 and then they just didn't respond anymore, so I'm assuming that they fell asleep because of the time here in Japan. And I should be asleep too, but here I am. I want to get this recording out the way so I can go to bed and then edit it in the morning and upload it in the morning and then make more videos and spend my day like that. It's a good way to spend the day. Here we just ride and pass. Drew into double swordbreaker again. Would you look at that? Oh my god, what a crazy coincidence. It's almost like that happens every game. Ooh, still running the Urunigin? Interesting. Okay. Gets a crit. I'm supposed to do that. That's me. That's my job. I'm supposed to be the one critting my opponent randomly at all times. Okay. Come on, man. Why is my crit doing that? My crits should stop doing that, like right now. That's not cool. Okay. You know what? We can rush back. We can rush right back. This is how we do it. We're gonna go boom. 11 to the face. Ka-chow. Oh, no defensive. Very cool. And then we check a crit. Come on. Damn it. That's not how it's supposed to go. We're supposed to check crits left and right. Okay, at least the heal's whiffed. Alright. Substitute can go chill here. This is a very good investment. I have 2 of them, actually. I don't show this one very often, but I also have a small one. I have a small one on my speaker. I don't know, I really like the design of Substitute. And I've always wanted a Substitute plush when I was a kid. So now, you know, like, adulthood is all about making your childhood wishes come true, right? So, I'm just doing that. I'm basically just doing that all the time. Yes! Finally, I check a heal at a timing that is convenient for me. Thank you very much. Okay, so here we don't draw into our last sword breaker. Thank you. Appreciate it. And we're gonna go into Luard. And essentially, we went first, so we're not gonna do much. So sad. But we can put down some cards and dash a little bit. If we're lucky, we'll put our opponent to 5. If we're not lucky, we will misplay and forget that this freaking power-up effect is on GB1. It's okay. Just having the intercept is important. Just having the intercept is important. I didn't misplay. I swear. I promise. Oh, look at that crit. That's more like it. Now check another one. Check another one. Damn it. Okay, we put our opponent to 5 anyway. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We put our opponent to 5. A PG is gone too. That's how we do it. So with this, we're going to have a Morfessa go to the drop, and I'm going to stride and retire one of our crits, and it's going to be great. Unless this Morfessa gets sent back to the deck because our opponent's playing old Chronojet, which you don't see very often. Most people play the new Chronojet instead because it allows you to do some cool one-card combos. I still need to feature that deck at some point. I've been playing it more lately. Ooh, the hard struggle stride. Okay, that's not too good to see. What kind of build is my opponent using? First stride Metallica too? Huh. Interesting. They're going to try to combo pretty hard here then. I'm assuming Chronojet to put Morfessa back? No. Choosing not to. Alright. I'm assuming History Maker somewhere. Or this. What does this do? 12k attacker? No. On play, Sawblast 1 for that turn. One of the other units in this game gets plus 2k, and it's placed not from hand, gets another 2k. Interesting. This will put my Morfessa back. Okay, I see. So we're going to swing with this, and then I will get a defensive, because let's face it, I'm pretty good at this game. Then I'm going to swing with Metallica. I'm assuming Time Leaping the 0 into a 1 that can get power, I'm guessing. Okay. CB1 Time Leap. Get a Chronojet to hand. I'm assuming maybe Chronojet G to make the next turn a bit smoother. Okay, this is going to be a grade 1 that... Oh, it's the Ride Chain. Okay, they're using the Ride Chain, but they didn't really hit it, so that's a bit unfortunate. Gonna take the Chronojet into hand. PG checked. Ugh, crit checked. Uh-oh. Wait, if he gets another one, I'm just dead. Are you serious? Are you serious? Wait, no. No. Cut the feed. Cut the feed. Don't let people see this. Are you... I shouldn't have let go of my substitute. That's what happens. Kagero, can I go second this time, please? Please. Huh. You know what? It's fine. Fine. I'll go second. I'll play that role. Sure. No problem. Somebody's gotta do it. And I guess it's gonna be me. I'll go first. You know what? I'll do it for humanity, for the world. All right, Brandman, you look beautiful. Good going. Good luck. We have Luard again. We have Morfessa. We have all these great cards, but we're going first. We're going first. You understand? It's not good. 0 is a game where going second is rewarded, and going first is not. So we're in trouble. All right. So with that, we're gonna ride Leofall because Leofall's good. And we're gonna call Morfessa because she's also good. And Morfessa's gonna swing, and my opponent will not see a defensive no matter what. They will not. But I will see a crit. I will see a crit, and that's gonna be more epic because I'm clearly predicting the future of this. Okay. Good thing I didn't say Luard is the best deck or anything like that. That would be really embarrassing. Good thing I'm just, just here to, entertain the children. It's just like, being a kindergarten teacher. You're just here to entertain the kids and have your intercepts be swung into. Good lord. So, we need to like draw into something to attack into this freaking grade 2. Oh, but you check it, bro. I see how it is. Okay. Sure, bro. Sure. Oh no, that's a grade 2. That means I'm never going to see that again. Please, I beg you. Can you not make me feel so deflated? Can you not make me feel like utter shit? Let's see, like... Do I work with the assumption my opponent will clear both of my grade 1s? No, they will not. But I don't want to just swing rear pass. So I think what we're going to do here is call this out, not going to use its skill, and then we're going to check triggers and put it onto the owl so we can at least hit it for another damage. Why do you check crits now? This is the worst timing, you freaking idiot! You could have pushed them to 4! This freaking deck is trolling me, man. This deck wants me to just uninstall and go to bed. It's 1:40 a.m. and I was like, I'ma just play another game and it's gonna be great. But first I break, and then my opponent falls asleep, and then my opponent double crits me for game, and now I double crit and do nothing with it because, Cope Seeth Malt and all the other cool things that the kids are telling you, It's great. I love it. 3 heals in hand. Couldn't have asked for anything else. But you know what is good? My Swordbreakers are still in my deck. Alright, Vortex, Desire. Is it Desire? It is Desire. Wow, I completely guessed that. But I guess I got it right. So this is going to countercharge. They're going to deny their own heal, so please check triple heal right here. I beg you. Triple heal would be super sexy. Like, really just what I want to see, It's like a role model. What I want to see in a future president is like check triple heal. Don't do that. And definitely don't do it again. Oh, thank God. Jesus. Huh, don't do that. No, stop. Can I stop dying to random shit? Why am I dying to just everything? Nemain, you're cool, but like... Alright, come on. First try, easy victory. Like, super easy. It's never been this easy. I can't believe it's this easy to just crit your opponent twice and win. PG finally found, that's a very welcome sight. We're going to use Luard to pop the starter, call out to Swordbreakers because there's nothing better to call. Swordbreaker will find us a discard fodder for Nemain, and then Nemain will find us good cards because that's what she does, that's her job. I hired her for that purpose. Luard, you are discardable, but then I need to keep you for Nouvelle Express or I'm dead. So, you're not exactly discardable either. I guess we discard the grade 2. I literally have to keep the grade 3 in hand because Nouvelle Express will just obliterate me, so... Nemain, please find another grade 2. I don't ask for much. Bad Bar Car. You'll be fine for later, but for now I don't really want to call it out. Although it could find me a grade 2, but I feel like it'll be a better card to call out later on. So we're going to go for the CC choice here instead. Bash like so, and then we're going to attack with Organizer and then just retire the right column and then countercharge. And we'll check 2 crits because clearly we didn't just draw into 2 of them. How many crits do I have left in deck? 3. I can find 2 of them. No problem. Easy, right? Just don't find them now. Find them during the drive check, of course, right? So, yay, we didn't. Good job. You actually did the thing that you're supposed to do. Alright, crit. Heal is good too. Heal is very important. Heal is very important. That's also good. That's also good. Alright, come on. Find a crit. Just one. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. How many crits do you have in... I don't have ritual? Oh no, I do. Okay. For a second I was like, huh? Alright, we have one crit here. One crit now back in deck. We need to heal this out somehow. But having no more heals left is making that very hard right now. So my opponent's probably going to go into L Express. Or maybe not. We're both on 4, so maybe L Express is not the play. It is always the play. Don't listen to what I said. It's always the play. Listen to this guy. He knows what he's doing. He'll just crit me and make me cry. Alright. The L Express is here to serve justice. You just keep these grade 3s, man. Like, it's scary out here. It's a scary world. My domain's getting popped. Good lord. Just don't pop this poor grade 1. Thank you. Alright. Anything else? Anything else you want to do? Any cool tricks you want to show me? Okay, you're gonna search an Overlord. Well, that's crazy. That's spooky. Alright. Oh. We still check the defensive because we hit 5 before the effect activated. Gamer style. Alright, if you don't hit double trigger here, we are... No, if you hit 1 trigger, actually, we have to PG. But if you don't... I could go... But I said... Wait. The misplay, though. I'm about it. I'm about it. I'm definitely about it. I'm super about it. Like, more about it than you would think, on average. Alright, Luard, you are not here at the right time, buddy. Let's put the owl back. We need our grade 1s in rotation. Do we need more soul than we already have? We have 2 sword breakers, so we could technically use both soul. So let's reride, get another soul in here. We have enough grade 3s to like discard for PGs and stuff. I think here we go for you and try to hit a crit. Yeah, I think we go for spec here on the GB3 stride. Don't pay for cost for stride, of course, because that's Luard's gimmick. A very good one at that. And then we go into Spectral Blaster Diablo, and draw into a PG. That's honestly more than I could ask for. We're going to kill a Swordbreaker to get 2 more Swordbreakers, because that's how the cookie crumbles. Let's get them out. Bada bing, bada boom. That gets both of our souls out as well, and we draw some cards. Do I not have too much hand? I'll have barely, like, just on the dot. Just on the dot enough hand. That's a crit that I would have liked to see on the drive check, but it's okay. It's not okay anymore, dude. Come on, man. Listen, bro. I'm not asking for much here, okay? We don't really need the crit on the restand now because my opponent's at 4. So let's just do this. Crit on restand doesn't matter if we don't check a crit on drive. That's the most important part. Okay, thank you for not, you know, doing it the wrong way there. We have a main here, and I guess we can technically, like, discard the crit so it goes back to deck. That's probably the best way to use this card. So, come on, draw the 2 PGs in deck. There's 2 PGs in this deck. Find them now. The main is fine too, to be honest. I'll take the grade 2s. We'll need them next turn anyway. We have 2 PGs in the heal guard. That might be enough, might not be enough. I don't know, we'll find out. Stay tuned for the epic announcement. 5 cards in deck, and I think we have, like, 1 crit. No, we have no crits, never mind. So it's going to be just a fair restand, which will take a PG out of my opponent's hand. Alright, that's cool. Effects. Pop, pop, and then countercharge, because we haven't used the countercharge effect yet. Find in the main, which means that the PGs are going to just be in rotation inside the deck itself. And we have, like, no triggers in here either, so that's going to be just heal guarded. And then 2 of our crits will go back, which is excellent. So, boom, go back. There's 2 crits in the damage and no way to get them out because we don't have heals anymore, so we're rotating with less pieces, which is a bit unfortunate. But my opponent might go into their second Express here if they have a second pair, and we can actually PG that successfully. So now it becomes a bit of a stamina match, where if we can align enough grade 1s, we can go for Oguma, but we don't really have that many grade 1s. So, not really getting too excited about that. Berserk Dragon? We're just gonna raw dog this freaking board, okay, that's interesting. Not a lot of CB left, and I don't see the countercharger grade 1. Overlord, okay. This might be a doomed turn. This might be a doomed turn to, like, fish for PGs. Because we don't, like, the only triggers we have left are recycling crits. We're just gonna heal guard that. This is definitely a stamina match. So, we PG this. Is this countercharge? Not yet, right? We can put this PG back, technically. Yeah, we can put that PG back. Let's put the PG back and the countercharger. How many grade 2s do I have left in deck? 1. How many do I have in hand? 3. That's good enough. With that, we put those two. Ride, skip, I want to say. I'm scared of the second pair of Express. Here, I kind of want to just go for Doom, to be honest. But we don't really have a good board setup. We can, like, use Bad Bar card to, like, call something out. It's tricky because we don't have a counter charge prior to this. Is there anything better we could do? Ogma doesn't really do anything here. The Restun won't proc. I think Doom try to snipe the PG is probably the best play. Yeah, let's try for that. Doom try to snipe the... Sorry, not the PG. The Intercept is probably the best play we have in this situation. We draw into the PG. We're not going to use Luard's effect. We're going to field this. Let's see. We go to 5 cards in deck. We get 2 out. We go to 3 cards in deck. And then if we hit crits, we die. That's kind of annoying. I think we just choose to not use that. And instead, we don't use this. We call out Luard. We use this effect. Flipping this face up. We're running out of time too, so gotta be a bit careful. Alright. Pop 3. Look at 2. We get a grade 1, that's all that matters. Pop the Berserk. We get a crit here as well, and then we basically just call down these 2 Morfessas. And this as well. And then we go to battle. So this is gonna swing for 14. We get a heal guard out. We have technically double crit in deck, so we're gonna try to hit that. We get 1. Put the power here, we get 2, put the power here, and then third check should be nothing. It's a PG. That gets a PG out for our opponent's side as well, and then we swing here for another PG. They have it. We have triple PG in deck, and... I mean, triple PG in hand, rather. We have 2 crits going back, so we'll be at 4 cards in deck. We draw for turn to 3. We put 2 back, we're on 5. We stride, we're on 4. It's kind of complicated, and I'm assuming all of my PGs will be removed here, but my opponent doesn't actually have CB to, I mean, that's why you gotta play freaking counter-charging PGs, in my opinion, on top of everything else. My opponent really just goes for a Root Flare here, I guess. Root Flare takes care of the Morfessa column? No, they're going for Vortex. Okay, I'm assuming this is just budget, a more budget Kagero list, because the only annoying thing is that we don't actually counter-charge here, because we don't have any PGs in the drop, because it's just all heals. The opponent actually is calling down their PG, but this will come back to hand. So we know that that is going to be a PG in hand. No cards on the side, though. Do we just pass on striding this turn and just, like, raw dog swing? Potentially 2 heals, though. It's kind of annoying. If they do check those 2 heals, we'll be in trouble. So, and the likelihood is actually fairly high. They don't! And I think that's the last PG, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that's the last PG, because that one goes back to hand. Here we need to just... I think we just start putting back Morfessas here. Yeah, put back Morfessas. I think we just don't stride here and just swing with all 3 columns. Or we try to stride into something empty. I think we just don't stride here. I think we just don't stride. We would draw into a Morfessa though, I think, so maybe it is worth a stride. We're going to 4 cards in deck. I'll choose not to. I'll choose not to in the end. I'm a bit scared of the Nouvelle, but they don't have CB, so I think we're fine. This finds a PG, that's annoying. It's a bit annoying, it's not a Morfessa. Alright, let's see if I get punished for this or not. See if I get punished for this or not. I know I have 2 crits in deck. The likelihood of checking them is pretty high. So let's just check them. So this, I think, puts me to... Okay, we check both. That's good. This is the power of, like, the late-game Luard, basically. So there was the PG in hand, and then this swings for lethal. There is still a heal in deck. I should have swung with the other column first. What was I thinking? There was only 2 cards in hand. I kind of knew that the likelihood of the crits was pretty high, too. So, okay, they don't check a heal, so that's good. That was a pretty good game, to be honest. We were pretty low on resources, because, like, the one misplay I did is putting back that 1 PG, I think, because that meant that I wouldn't be getting the counter charge from any PGs that procced. But we kept playing around the second, the Nouvelle stride, and it didn't come out, so honestly, that game was pretty good. Like, it started off kind of yikes, because I was afraid of just dying to getting rushed, but it kind of worked out in terms of our counterplay, and just, we only had 2 crits left that we could recycle, but, you know, the deck keeps thinning and thinning and thinning, and, like, in the end, it's the likelihood of checking those crits over and over again is very good, and that's kind of what makes Luard strong and why I run 4 of those crits, because like even if you get 2 in damage, you can still kind of work with it and have like 4 cards returning to deck every turn, which makes things pretty sustainable. Alright folks, I hope this gave you a good look into Luard. Of course, we had some pretty funny games at the start, but things kind of evened out towards the end. Got to show off most cards outside of like Ogma. I think Ogma is like the only strike we didn't go into in like PvD, but Ogma does have situations, but just like you need a lot of grade 1s on board for it to actually matter, or your opponents have like a small board, in which case it's also very good to punish them and make them discard a bunch of cards, but it's more of a card that shines in the 0 damage builds that no longer is viable, and I think Zura covered the 0 damage build on his channel, so if you want to kind of have a peek at a past meta, you can check that out as well. So this has been Luard. I hope a lot of you that were curious about 0 or starting 0 with Luard, this answers some of your questions. If you have any questions or anything I didn't answer or didn't show, leave them in the comments as well. And I think starting from this set in global as well, it'll become easier to get into the game, I hope, because that's how it was in JP at least. So enjoy Luard, enjoy 0. It's still a good time and still a fun game as well. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. But otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.